ติสหัมปติกัตอัญชลีอันทิวรังอยาจทาสันติทัสสัตตาปาราชาคชาติกาเทเสตุธัมมังอนุกรรมปิมังปัจจัง
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังธัมมังสังฆังนะมัสสามิ So I think this is the last Dhamma talk, that's right, before the rain ends. Rain ends next Friday. It's been very fast. So having cultivated stillness for the last 9 or 10 weeks. So hopefully now we turn our attention to insight. And it's one of those nights when we focus on the thing that came to me was that it's one of those, one of those Buddhist saying, it's kind of contrived, overused, bit of platitude, but for some reason it's just stuck. It's this thing, be happy. That's what there is to do. Just to be happy. I think it's a song about that. And what happens when you say this a lot of times people get annoyed, right? Like, be happy, don't tell me what to do. I can be miserable if I want to. It's none of your business. How can I be happy when my body is falling apart, when it's so cold and windy, when my life is falling apart, when you're in the middle of a pandemic and you tell me to be happy? That's so stupid. That's so happy-chippy. One of those, whatever, happy-go-lucky, stupid license plate that you put on. That's not life. Life is, I don't know, life is stress and pressure and worries and divisions and fights. No, but be happy. It's not a command because people get annoyed when you tell them what to do. But actually it's an offering. That you have the potential to be happy if you want to. You have the potential to turn the mind in more wholesome ways. When you think of to be happy, doesn't mean that every life is perfect, that you're at the peak of your health, that your relationship is going wonderful, and that you drop into the jhanas every time you sit. That's not. You don't need that to be happy, really. It's the potential and offering that there is happiness. We can be happy. There is a happiness in the present moment. And we learn to train the mind to see clearly that no matter how wrong life is, how terrible things is, we still have the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. We might forget, but we still know so much of the Buddha's teaching. We all know, the Dhamma, that whatever mood, whatever situation, whatever trouble we think we are in, it is, another Buddhist truism, impermanent. It comes and it goes. And it's non-self. It doesn't depend on us. And knowing just these two truths is incredibly liberating. If things aren't impermanent, then they'll pass away when the time is right. But also, if it's non-self, then it's beyond our control. We're not in control, then we can't be at fault. Then where is the feeling of guilt and worried? Because we're not in control. It is the delusion of control, of things that we can control the body, the situation, control life, control our spouse, control the other monks and the people in the kitchen. That sometimes gives rise to frustrations because they're very annoying. They don't do what you want to do. They're always doing silly things and saying silly things to you. So how can I be happy when I have to be in the kitchen? All these crazy ladies coming in all the time and telling me what to do. But you can. By looking at all the things that are going right with you. If you're here, no excuses. There's the potential to be happy. In the sense that we have our health. It's not perfect, but good enough. We have a place to practice Buddhism in Australia. I say that over and over again. Beautiful forest, amazing wildlife, amazing flowers coming out. Yeah, it's a bit windy, but there's so much happiness in the present moment, in each and every one of us. Only if we forget the chatter of the mind, the habits of fault-finding, the habits of worrying, and just turn the mind slightly and look. Then there's so much, we have so much already. We have the Dhamma to remind us, yes, we have the ability to pay attention, the mindfulness, and the encouragement to always want to turn, to count our blessings. To know how to train the mind to look for what's right in the world. No matter what we think is how overwhelming that is. Yeah, sometimes our suffering can be a lot. Sometimes the mind can go a bit crazy. But we all know, we've all been practicing Dhamma long enough to know that these states of mind come and go. Nobody has a crazy mind for the last 10 weeks. Maybe not, maybe you do. But there are moments of peace, moments of clarity, moments of stillness. And we keep turning our attention to that, keep focusing on that. That's how these things grow. What we pay attention to grows slowly. As long as we continue paying attention. So while, yes, we practice to be happy, or just cut to the chase and just be happy. Just be happy with the way things are. Find contentment and gratitude with the body that you have, with the mind that you have, with the situation you're in, with the partners you have. Not perfect, but good enough. And by turning the mind towards things that we have, things that we can be grateful for, you'll find that it does incline towards stillness, to some clarity, there's hope. But also another way to look at be happy is happy to be. Right? So you don't have to do happiness, you don't have to manage happiness, you don't have to get happiness. Most of the injunction is to be. Be still and know that I'm God. There's a Christian saying. But the Buddhist version of that is be still and know the joy of the Buddha. I think happiness comes from having things. Remember, so much of the sutta that says, when the monks or nuns become enlightened, passions fade, they become dispassioned. Things fade away. So in the practice, we're allowing things to fade away. And when you're still, things fade away on their own. In the world, sometimes we are encouraged to be passionate about things. You need passion. What is your passion in the world? If you're not passionate, then you don't exist, or you're just a nobody. If you're a nobody, no one wants to be a nobody. You want to be somebody, an influencer, an important person. In Buddhism, that is the trap of suffering. That is Mara. The less you have, the less you are, the less you have to be worried about. The less you control, that's where happiness comes in. So as we contemplate this sometimes silly saying of be happy, what does it mean to be happy? Well, I'm not happy all the time. I get annoyed, frustrated, irritated, confused, jealous. How can I be happy? But you can, through acceptance, through understanding that those mental states, the situation arise from some cause. They're here already. So what is the responsibility of a Buddhist, a practitioner? To accept that things are, in the present moment, arises from a cause. Fighting against it is not going to improve the situation. So practitioner, you learn to accept, to investigate, to learn, and to grow from that. That's terrible. So the AILGM doesn't mean anything. But anyway, to accept, to investigate, to learn, and to grow. From my experience. As we move towards the end of the rains, like I said, people come and we have issues in our life, in our mind, want to change things, improve, or just to be happy. But no, and that's the beauty of the Buddhist teaching. That's an offering that he is offering each and every one of us. The potential to be truly happy, to be, the word can be overused, like the joy beyond likes and dislikes, the stillness that's beyond the likes and dislikes, the judging, the chattering mind. We know that, as the mind calms down, it moves beyond all the surface of the world. It can be stillness. And in stillness, there is a joy, a sense of well-being that arises naturally. As the world fades away, as our craving fades away, we think, it's scary because I'm not here. But in that is true happiness, the fading away of passion, the fading away of worries and personalities, fading away of longings and wishings, fading away of the five khandhas. And there is the happiness beyond the worldly condition. So as we continue to practice, to contemplate the Buddha's teaching, just to know, each and every one of us, we know enough Dhamma, we have enough wisdom in each and every one of us to really encounter, to solve our own suffering, our own stress, our own clinging. And it's a great kind of, I think it's very empowering. It's something that, each and every one of us have inside of us. The understanding that wherever there's suffering, there's also the end of suffering right there. That we can learn to accept, investigate, to learn, to grow from that. And we know, we're all, adults, most of us, been around for 30, 40 years, 50, 60. We experience enough suffering, but we also remember the end of it. And we get into a situation, life gets a bit crazy, the mind goes a bit crazy, and then it passes. Yeah, sometimes we're in the middle of it, we think it's going to last a long, long time. It's always going to be like this. But each and every one of us step through to the other side. So whatever moods we're in, it does end when the conditions are right. So the more we remember that, the more we understand the Dhamma, the more confidence we have. The Buddhist teaching is a powerful tool to be used, each and every one of us. Tool that can, result in increasing sense of well-being, of happiness. So, as we continue our practice beyond the rains, I'm offering you an offer to be happy. You don't have to be happy, you can do other things, but as a potential that we can all aspire to. It's a potential that's in each and every one of us. It's a potential that's in the present moment. So I offer that for your reflection tonight.